a lightning in the dark, set fire to my heart. Never let me go. I'm alive. I see with brand new eyes. No, I've never been so sure. Take my hand, let's run into the unknown. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. Where to go? Heaven only knows. Your trust is in my arms, so hold me till the dawn. Never let me go. On and on. Been dreaming for so long. Said we'll make 'em all come true. Now our story's just about to be told. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. We can start right here. Push away your fear. We can start right here. Push away your fear. We can almost usually not start anymore. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. We can start right here. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the It starts right here.
What's going on, everybody? Brady here, and welcome to another live stream on Microsoft Flight Simulator. How's everybody doing? We're going to be doing some carrier operations today, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to start out by talking a little bit about the history of the aircraft carriers and the landing systems, because it's pretty interesting. Then we're going to hop into an F-18 Hornet, which we've got here on deck. We've got a few of them here on deck, and do some landings with that, taking off. And we've got a couple of other aircrafts here on board, well, like this chopper. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm pretty excited. I hope everybody's doing well. I know we're getting close to Christmas. It's Rithik, how's it going, man? I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Christmas is this coming Sunday, so happy holidays to everyone, whatever it is that you celebrate. And you know, happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. So hope you guys have a great week this week, and you get to spend some time with family or friends. And yeah, I'm really excited. I've got some mods installed, which I think are definitely helpful to make the carrier experience a little bit more fun and a little bit more realistic. I've noticed there's I think one too many guys like on deck here. The crew members seem to be a little bit messed up with these mods, but if you look below in the description, you'll see some mods that you can download, which I will be using today, and you'll get a little bit of a feel for what these mods do that you can add. They're free for aircraft carriers. So this is actually a carrier that was added from a mod, and it just helps with some of the functions for the aircraft and all that. And so we're going to try that out. I use this to make my Top Gun Maverick intro that I made. If anyone has checked that out on my YouTube channel, I did a little short film that was basically making the intro to the Top Gun Maverick movie, but in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I can talk a little bit about how I did that. One of the ways that I did that was also using the replay feature, which we like to use here on the live stream. So I'm going to turn the replay tool on, and then we'll go back now that we have that on. We can use that, and that puts the replay up here on the toolbar. I will show you guys how to use that. We'll record a landing and you can make videos with it, so it's pretty cool. I've also got the Maverick livery here for Captain Pete Mitchell up here, and we also have the live weather today from Rex Weather Force. That is what I've been using for live weather, so pretty cool. And we are just outside. We're somewhere on the northeast coast of the United States right now. I think it might be New York. It's not close to New York City. It might be like somewhere more like Baltimore, somewhere around that area. We'll check it out. We're pretty much just going to stay at this carrier, on this aircraft carrier, take off, fly around, try out a couple landings. This is the Enterprise CVN 65. Not to be confused with the CV6 from World War II Enterprise. Totally different aircraft carriers and different flight decks. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, because now we're on a modern carrier, and it's kind of neat. We can just walk around here. Got some crew, got another F-18 here, and everyone's just kind of hanging out, waiting for us to go fly. If you want to join, I can tell you where I'm at. But if you want to join, you're also going to want these mods I put in the description. Multiplayer is enabled though, and I might check out a couple different carriers today. If you would like to join and you don't have the mods, there should still be an opportunity to have some fun. Let me just adjust my webcam here real quick because it seems a little bit bright. And we're going to take a look. See, as you can see, there's a little bit too many men here on deck. They look a little bit too close together. So something's going on here with the mod. Not going to spend time investigating what's going on with it right now. We're just going to get started. I'm not going to be problem solving any of that. That would just kind of be a waste of time. It's okay if everything doesn't function perfectly. We should still be able to use the launch system. Look, this guy's waving. And we can start, hopefully right here is where we'll be hooking up. We've got our carrier crew here. Let's go over to our airplane. Or I'm sorry, let's go over to the landing system real quick so I can talk to you guys a little bit about how the landing system works and where this came from, a little bit of the history here. So it's pretty interesting. Yes, I will be flying an F-18 Rithik. That's what we're going to start out with. We're going to start out with the F-18. We only really have a modern character in the carrier in the simulator right now, so it just makes sense to start out with the jet, modern jet, to land on the modern carrier. I'm hoping that World War II carriers will come. It looks like one may be coming soon. That's what I really want to be doing, is a Essex class carrier with a wooden deck, straight carrier, and I cannot wait to be able to do that on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Looks like it's in the works, might be coming out soon through a third party. got some coffee today. And that will be really neat when we can use some of the older carriers from World War II. So what this is for the landing system here. I don't know what's going on with the middle of it, so I don't know. There should be another column down the middle. Maybe we'll see it on a different carrier we go to, or maybe this one's different, but it should have another column down the middle. But this is basically what's called a Fresnel lens optical landing system, and this developed from the optical landing system. And long story short, guys, when the aircraft carriers first started out, like let's say in World War II, let's just go back to that for example, and a plane was coming in and landing, you had a guy that would help direct the pilot of whether he was on the glide slope or not, and just kind of help direct him of whether he was high or low or left or right with the flags. So you'd have a guy with flags in his hands, paddles you could call them, I guess paddles, and they would direct the airplane for landing. But what happened was, like in the early 1950s, carriers evolved from straight decks into these angled decks. So if I come up above, you'll see now we've got a more angled deck. It's kind of hard to see from here, but you can tell a little bit more when we'll be landing that they're not just straight decks anymore. And as jets were born and airplanes started going a lot faster, humans were not really good enough to be able to land these jets by hand. I mean, it wasn't a great system to try to have a guy with paddles landing a jet that's coming in at 150 knots. And so a British guy actually designed the first mirror landing light system, and it was pretty cool. It's like they used a mirror that was on a gyro, and then they had these other lights that would be like in this area shining at the mirror, and it basically made a way for the pilot to be able to tell whether he was on the glide slope or not, just the way that these lights were pointing at the mirror. So it was really cool. And then on top of that, you'd have another guy standing on deck with another mirror system in order to make sure that it was working properly. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was really neat how it worked. And then what this basically evolved into actual Fresnel lights. So that was the optical landing system using mirrors, and then it eventually evolved into the Fresnel lens optical landing system. And how this works is it's basically telling you whether you are high or low, and whether you are on center line here using these lights. So I don't know, we'll see if it works for this carrier. I'm not sure if it will or not. I'm gonna be just kind of landing the best that I can without much help, so that'll be interesting, and without being able to talk to anyone on the radio, and I might not even use the technology in order to land, just to make it more challenging. Looks like we've got some pretty decent weather today, and this is a static carrier right now, so it's not actually moving, which means we'll be coming in a little bit faster, because if you have a carrier that's moving and you're landing with the movement of the carrier, you are able to land a little bit slower. Does that make sense? If the carrier is going 10 knots, that means you get to hit the deck 10 knots slower than you normally would. So there's normally a bar here in the middle with a ball you call the meatball. If the meatball's above the middle, that means you're a little high. If it's below the middle, that means you're a little low. And you can use your throttle in order to adjust your angle coming in, whether or not you are high or low. You can adjust the throttle and go faster or slower. If you're a little high, you can come back on the throttle a little bit, and that should get you more on the correct slope. So you don't necessarily want to point the nose down and be going up and down when you're coming in. You really want to try to manage your speed with your glide slope, beyond the glide slope. So anyway, enough of that. you guys have any questions, you can always ask questions if you want to hear more about that. I know a lot of people just want to get in the airplane and fly, so we're going to do that now. We're going to be getting in this F-18 right here. Let's get fired up. Cool, so now we're in the cockpit. I'm not going to go through... Well, do we have a checklist for this? I don't know if we have a checklist for this airplane or not. I guess we do. So we can go through the checklist. APU off, exterior as required. We'll just leave that off. Those are lights. Throttle's off. LT master's off. Parking brake is set. Anti-skid, we're going to turn that on. Flaps auto, which is all the way up. Landing gear is down, which it is. And APU is off, just to confirm. Starting engine, we're going to do battery on, which is over here. Okay, now APU is coming on. And we're going to wait for the APU ready light. Once that's ready, we have our auxiliary power unit going. We'll get a ready light on. Then we can crank the engine. Where do they have that in here? Turn the volume up so I can hear this a little bit better. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm still working on my audio settings. I haven't had a lot of time to work on it. Okay. Should just take a few more seconds. And then we're going to go to the engine crank. We're going to do right. Okay, we should be good now. Wait for that to fire up. It's a beautiful sound. Sweet. Now we can do the left engine. Once that is stable, that's sounding pretty good right now. Okay. Now we're going to go to the left. Beautiful, beautiful sounds. Okay, let's move on to next on our checklist, and we actually would be using a checklist in our hands in real life, so not much different here. We're gonna go to idle now, which we are. And then oil should be at PSI before 30 seconds. We weren't really keeping an eye on that, but that's okay. EGT, we just want to check the temperature of that. Can't see anything. Okay, temperature's good. We've got a maximum of 871 degrees Celsius. And then do we have our HUDs on? Yeah, are they bright enough? Sure, everything's good. Now we're going to do before taxi, we're going to do the UFCD, which is good, and spread the wings, which I believe they're already spread. They are. Flight controls, free and correct. Okay, we're doing a control check now. They are free. Elevator check. APU is coming off because now we're on engine power, so it already is off actually. Nose wheel steering, we're going to engage. And then we're just going to release the parking brake and we're going to start taxiing up to the catapult. Alright, here we go. We'll keep an eye on this guy up here, and I'll give you a quick, just a really quick overview of what some of these crew members do. Come on. I don't know what was going on with our... What's going on with our brakes here? There we go. Okay. Oh. Slow down. Slow down. I don't know what's going on with the brakes right now. Hold on. Get this figured out. Is this airplane like broken? Okay, there we go. Now we're good. Okay. I don't know why this guy is also like not really directing us. So hopefully this will work. Again, the crew is kind of like glitched out. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but landing's a lot more fun than taking off anyway, so landing we should still be fine. Just want to come up a little bit closer. This guy's supposed to be directing me and he's not, so hopefully this works. I got it to work at one point, like a month ago, and then I reinstalled the sim. Now I've had issues with the crew members, but it's fine. Whatever. Now we're going to talk about these crew members real quick, even though they're not really working correctly with the mod right now. But basically you have the shooter. That's the guy who's responsible for the safe launch and recovery of the aircraft on the flight deck. They're going to be doing the final safety check and giving the final signal. The green shirt guys, they maintain and operate the catapults, and they all work together. Basically, as soon as you get a salute from the pilot, their hands will go up into the air, and that's the final ready. And then the hands to the deck, like when they put their hands down to the deck and then point straight, is the signal to launch. But yeah, this crew essentially works together for the safety, and they're getting the pilots to the fight. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool job, very important job. So let's see if we can get hooked up here to the catapult. See if I can remember how to do this. I believe you put down the launch bar retract. If I can get this to work. Alright, we're gonna scoot up a little bit. Try putting it down again. And if it doesn't work, we still should be able to launch. We can still simulate it, so that's fine. I'm just going to go to this plugin here that comes with the mod from Strike Carriers. And I believe if I do catapult and activate the catapult, we should be able to launch off of here. So let's try it. Not working. Hopefully we can just like launch off of here without it. Might have to use slew mode in order to do that, but got some problems right now with the launching system, so I'm just going to get in the air here and put the gear up, make sure that our flaps are up as well. And we're going to circle back around and we're going to attempt a landing. The landing should be fine. As long as we have the tail hook down, we should be able to catch the wires. So now we're in the air, it's all good. And we'll try out a different carrier as well. Kind of want to get away from this carrier because it's not really working very well right now. Alright, so we're going to circle back around. And it will work if you get everything installed properly. And I don't know, maybe I put something in there in the community folder that shouldn't be in there, and that's why it's not working, but that's fine. But I have gotten it to work before. So we're basically going to run a pattern here. We're on a downwind for the runway now, and the goal is going to be trying to come in at about 150 miles an hour and catching the wire. The better, you know, you can catch the first wire, the better off you are. Like, you want to try to catch the first wire or the second, but then you have 4 wires there when you land. So obviously the fourth would be the last one that you're able to potentially catch to come to a stop. If you're not feeling good about it though, or you're, you know, off balance, off center line, too low, too high, you always want to just do a go around and attempt another one. Alright, we've got flaps up, everything's good right now. I'm going to slow down a little bit. And we're going to start lowering in the flaps, because what the flaps will do is they'll enable the jet to actually fly slower and land slower with the flaps on. Okay, here we go. Start turning a base here. And going down to 1 notch of flaps. Just really don't want to get too slow here. I'm going to go down to the 2nd notch of flaps now. Alright, we should be at, like, I believe, full flaps. We're getting a little slow, so I'm going to add some power. Way too slow here. Almost into a stall. Just got to add some power in, and I'm going to put the gear down now. Not working. What's going on with our gear? Gear's not working. That's a problem. it locked? Okay, we do not even have landing gear here, so that is a problem, guys. It says it's down, but it's not coming down. We're not going to be able to land like that. We'd have to do an emergency landing at this point. If the gear failed, I mean, basically would have to just land on the belly over here. Be very dangerous. But I think there's a runway over here we can land on without gear. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll probably go back to the main menu and just pick a different jet. I was just working too, like earlier today, so I don't know what's going on with that. The gear is not working here, so let's see how slow we can land on a runway without wheels. This is pretty much what you'd have to do in the event of a gear failure with a jet. I don't know what the deal with that is, though. It's so weird. Oh, got a little turbulence over here. This is not the way that you'd want to land.
Power. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Power. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, so that's what that would look like.
Pull up. Pull up.
I don't understand why
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
the gear was not coming down. It's really strange because it said it was down and it wasn't. So I don't know what the deal with that is. But we'll go back to the main menu and just go to a different carrier because this one's all kind of messed up anyway. So it's ridiculous. I don't know what the deal is. I just was flying this jet, I don't know, an hour ago and the gear was working. So what the heck is going on? I mean, it sometimes it could be something in the community folder. I'm looking in my community folder right now. I mean, I could take out this carrier and this crew. See what happens. We'll try it one more time with a different carrier and just see what happens, because I think I can spawn into a different carrier and just already be in the air. We can do some landings. So there should be one right here in the Gulf of Mexico. This one could be interesting, right in the middle of the Gulf. Let's see what happens here. Liveries is fine. That shouldn't affect anything. Give it some fuel. And flight conditions, we're going to do real time. And we'll load in, and then we'll load in our weather with Rex as soon as we get in. So, I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. I had no idea that the gear was not going to work. So that's interesting. You just never know what's going to happen here on Microsoft Flight Simulator when you're live. May have saved the airplane. I don't know, Darren. Like, it also could have just caught on fire since there's so much fuel in that thing. It could easily have caught on fire and blown up. So I don't know. I think what I wonder is, like, if you're in an emergency landing with a jet, do you open the? Would you open the canopy? You know, because it almost seems safer to me to open the canopy so you can just get right out. I would imagine you'd probably want to open the canopy before you hit the runway. Alright, so let's see if this works. Wow. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We have a working gear now. Alright, now we can land. We're in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. I just want to load in the weather. Really like having the real weather. So I got Rex up, and that should just appear in here any second now. Whoa, much different, huh? So that makes things a lot more interesting when you're trying to land on a carrier in these conditions. This is IFR right now. Let's see how it is when I get a little bit lower. And we're going to circle back. Really don't want to lose this thing. Just don't want to lose sight of it. I can see it back there. Looks like we'll have a little bit better visibility when we get a little bit lower. Now this is going to be interesting. So I got the gear down already. All I got to do is put the tail hook down. I'm going to do one notch of flaps right now. Start getting a little slower here. My trim is way off, so I'm adjusting my trim right now. Now, this is the other side of the carrier, so we don't want to land on this side. We actually want to circle back and land the other way. Actually, I'll put the flaps up and the gear up for now. So we have a little ways to go. Just want to keep our speed up. Perfect. Alright, so you can get a look at the carrier now. We're going to be landing on the other side. And that's what I mean by the angled deck carrier. They're no longer straight decks, they're angled. You get a little bit of an idea of what direction we're landing now. See how you land at an angle. Pretty interesting. We're here in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Alright, going a little fast. I'm going to cut power. Got to lose some speed here. We're losing speed pretty quick. I'm going to put one notch of flaps down now. That's making the nose drop. Got to keep our speed up. And I'm going to go ahead and put the gear down. Again, I'm playing around with my trim here. Let's see where the carrier is at. It's at about a 45-degree angle now on our 6, so let's start turning base. And I'm going to lower the tail hook because we're not going to do a very good job landing without that. Alright, tail hook's coming down. That is right here. That is all we need right now. The rest of it is just going to be being as precise as possible with this. See, the ball is actually working right here. saying we're below right now, which makes sense. Yeah, my trim is pretty wild right now. I need to come up quite a bit. Alright, now let's go to full flaps. We're full flaps now. Our target's about 150 for speed. So we're a little slow, and I gotta try to get this angle right, since it's an angled deck. Let's see what happens here. If I'm not feeling good about it, we can always go around. Still a little slow. I'm gonna add a little power. Not much though, just a tiny bit. That's all you need. .148's looking pretty good. I almost feel the wind pushing me a little bit. 50. I don't think we're at the right angle here. I think we're a little off. Yeah, a little off angled here. Way off, actually. Might be able to get back on and save this. A little high. Cutting power.
Power.
Yeah, that would have been, so that's a go around there. I'm gonna put in the actually, do I need to? Yeah, I'm gonna put in slew mode real quick. So that was a go around. As soon as I noticed I was too high, hold on one second. Let me get this figured out here so we can restart. Hopefully I can pick up some speed here. Alright, there we go. We'll come back around and try that again. So as soon as I noticed I was too high, that would have been a go around. I just went ahead and attempted it because it's a simulator, but like basically when I started to flare like that, it was way too big of a flare, and that's just gonna make you stall out. You know, I would have had to go probably full throttle to try to not stall there. So yeah, plane was just destroyed. We're gonna try this again. I think the hardest part is actually getting the right angle to the runway. I mean, you can't even see it. So I think that just comes with like knowing these carriers and what angle the runway's at, because it, like I said, it's not a straight deck. So you're actually landing, it's very confusing looking. You're not really landing straight. Like, you're not really landing the way that the carrier's moving. We'll come back around here and try this again. Now, they also do include this. You can do start landing attempt. And that'll help you a lot. You can really see what's going on here. You can use that as a reference. Gears coming down. Tail hook's already down. It's like we're a little high. Trying to come down here. Alright, now we're right on. Come up a little bit. Right on, up a little bit. Up, up. Power, 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 power. So I don't know what's going on there. That's like another go around. I mean, I guess I need to start my approach maybe further back would help. All right, gears going up, flaps up, tail hook up. I would say that that was way too short of a pattern there, and I need to start much further back. I know these guys are starting way further back. And they're coming in. All right, we'll see if we can get this one more time. 3 times a charm. I don't know if you guys caught the World Cup, but that was the most insane thing I've ever watched. Can't even talk about it. It's like, can't even put it into words. Gears coming down, tail hooks coming down. Need to add some power here. We've got full flaps now. Alright, now we're a little bit further away, so let's see how this goes. Coming in a little hot. Hopefully we'll lose enough speed. Really don't want to be too low. That's a lot more unsafe than being too high. There we go. All right, we got it. Beautiful. And as you can see, the wires actually here. Hold on one second. Let me get the other camera out here. Where are you at? Drone camera. There we go. So as you guys can see, the wire's actually here, and it's caught the airplane. Now, in order to release that wire, all you got to do is raise the tail hook up. We'll get a view of this carrier, which is moving in the Gulf of Mexico here. So if I just raise the hook back up, that wire will be gone. And then we're free to move around again. So also, if you want to just go backwards and you're on deck, just hit Shift P and that's your pushback, and you can get some help pushing back. That's a good thing to do. Flaps are going up now. and we'll see if we can go hook up to the catapult and try this one more time, see if I can nail a second one real quick. Could always go find another carrier as well, because we've got quite a few carriers around the US that we could go check out, and I'm sure there'll be different weather at every single one. So cool, they have multiple different catapults here on board. Okay, so this one does have the meatballs. Check this out. I'm gonna stop here. Now this is what I was trying to show you guys at the beginning. This thing in the middle here has a light. We'll have a light on this, and the ball will show you whether you're too high or too low. That's a really bright white light, and you want it to be in the middle. That's what I was trying to show at the beginning when we were on that other carrier. They didn't really have a good... They just didn't have a good model of it. Okay, now let's see if we can hook up to this catapult. I'm going to push back a little bit further. And this time we'll record the replay as well for the landing. I don't think we have this enabled. Let's see here. Where's the stick at? You get to the other side of the stick. I think the only way to do it might be with the checklist. And you go to your anti-skid on. The nose wheel steering. Yeah, we want to engage that. Okay. There we go. Let's see if we can get this launching system to work. Still not working? Alright, well, at least we can land, but I don't think the catapult system's working very well. Let me see if we can do that on here. Activate. Okay, cool. Activate holdback bar. Perfect. And full throttle. And ready for launch. Now this should work. There we go. Alright, now we're talking. Got that to work. Even though we don't have the crew there, at least we got the catapult working. Gear up. Why'd the gear not go up? Oh no. We having gear problems again? Again? Oh no. Well, at least it's stuck down. Hopefully we should still be able to land since it's stuck down and not up. What is the deal with that? Something is not installed right for that to be happening. I'll have to mess with my community folder to get that sorted out. But pretty soon I'm going to be switching to a different airplane as well. I know I promised you guys some different airplanes, so that'll be interesting. See if we can land some other airplanes on a carrier. We'll also switch up the carrier just to keep things interesting. I'm gonna attempt one more landing here on this one. Slow down. Put the first notch of flaps in. Let's bring our tail hook down, and gear is already down. Stuck down. This is some interesting weather. And we'll do our guidance here for the landing. It's very hard to see without this. I like turning these off as well because it just makes it more realistic. To not have the marker over the carrier. And we're gonna go full flaps now. We are full flaps. Really wants to make the nose go up. We're a little low and off center line. Then again, I'll also record this replay. So I'm going to start recording. See, it starts blinking red if you're like way off. We're way high right now. Hopefully I can fix it in time. Beautiful. Really stuck that one on there. It might have been a little hard, but that's alright. Better to be hard than not land at all. Yeah, not a very good score there. Did not have a very good approach, but I saved it. And I'm gonna hit stop now. Actually, let's get rid of this wire first. Okay, good. And we'll just go ahead and hit stop, and then we can watch the replay with a different camera angle, which is what I like about the replay feature, is being able to watch replays at a different camera angle. So now the airplane's going to do exactly what we just did, except we are free to move however we would like. What I'm going to do is actually fly over to the carrier with the drone, beat the plane there, then we could just kind of stand there and watch this hard landing, but successful landing. Alright, so we're gonna come right about here. We want to take off the follow mode, and we gotta find a speed that kind of matches the carrier, which 7 looks pretty good actually. be coming a little bit, go a little bit faster here. Here we are, I can see us coming in. Think. Thought I saw us. Where'd we go? I just don't even see. Where was it? Oh, you know what? The replay doesn't work on this carrier because it's doing a replay of where the carrier was before. Oh, that's so interesting. That's what's happening. Let's just stop that. Does that make sense, guys? So basically, the replay function will record your replay, but because the carrier is moving, it's got the replay recorded where the carrier was when we landed, but now it's further along in the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico. It's moving, so the replay feature doesn't work unless you're using a static carrier. So if you use a static carrier, it will work. We're gonna go back to the main menu now. We've landed a Hornet on the carrier. That was fun. Maybe we'll do that with the actual Top Gun Maverick challenge. So let's go into the challenge, and after that we're going to switch into some other airplanes. So here's the official landing challenge. I believe, is this where it is? Yeah, San Diego Carrier Recovery. Let's see, I've got a score of a B on here. I haven't made an A yet, and we'll just fly this real quick. So this is what came out with the Top Gun Maverick add-on, the official landing challenge. See how I can do. Hey Lori, thanks so much. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in and also participating in the chat. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. You have a wonderful day. So it says do not flare if you're too high and you're trying to get low, and then if you do not want to have a big flare for these, or else you need to do a go around if you're too high. That's the most important thing, and that's what I did at the beginning when I crashed and blew up the airplane, is I tried to flare way too high. Alright, so we're just going to kind of follow the ball here, and I'm going to be looking right in this area. Oh, I have that backwards. We're too high right now. Not too low. But I was reading this in reverse. The gear down? Oh yeah, the gear's down. Is the tail hook down? Okay, so everything's good for landing. Just need to keep an eye on our speed. Too high right now. Oh, and we have the guidance at the top. I didn't even notice. Okay, cool. Way too high. Cut power. Should help us drop. See if we can get on the glide slope here. A little high. Man, it's not terrible. Coming in a little fast. I don't think that you would actually go that far from... Yeah, they're gonna give me a C. We'll try it one more time. But I don't think you'd actually go that far with a wire that catches you. I don't think, because like I almost went off the deck. I just don't. Every video I've seen, I don't see them almost going over the edge when the wire catches. But I don't know. Maybe that was too fast? Didn't really seem that fast. Alright, we'll do this one more time. I wonder if this view's better. Let's try this view. Really got to mess with the trim because the airplane's really wanting to pitch up. Helps a lot if you get your trim right. About right on it right now. We can keep this. This is looking good. Come up a little bit. What's going on with the weather? Is that Rex messing with the weather? Might be. Huh, I didn't even think about that. A little bit high. Okay, I like this though. I like how this is looking. Ooh, that one was pretty good. That should have been the first wire. I'd be surprised if we didn't get at least a B for that. C still? I thought that was a pretty good landing. Guess they're saying the angle of attack was not good for the speed. So they're factoring in, like, they're not really just factoring in the landing, they're factoring in the approach. I guess I've had way better ones because I've gotten a B. Alright, so we're going to go back to the main menu now and let's have some fun with some other airplanes. I don't think there's other airplanes that have a tailhook that I have though. Let's see. I don't think there's gonna be anything else that's gonna be like an official carrier setup airplane. Obviously these smaller planes would be really easy to land and fun on a carrier. If you got into a STOL plane or a small airplane, that's not going to be a problem. Remember in the old Microsoft Flight Simulator, I say old, but I guess it's like I guess it was FSX, so just the one before this one, which is over 10 years old now, maybe more. They had a mission where you were flying a mission, and this was really cool. You were like on a charter, and you lose your engine, and you have to do an emergency landing on the aircraft carrier, and that was really fun. Really want them to bring back stuff like that in this sim, and I'm really looking forward to doing some more mission-based stuff. So I really want to find some of that, do more mission-based stuff. I know there's like some career modes out there I've seen where you're flying more objective-based things, but they're, I don't know, I've watched videos of them and it's like, it's not really that great yet. They'll have like maybe a fire truck flipped over or something and you gotta land, and like a lot of it's helicopter stuff because the helicopters are really what's going to be doing those kinds of rescue missions. But there'll be some airplane stuff coming like that, I would believe. We're still early on in this simulator. I'm pretty sure I could land a TBM. That would be kind of an interesting plane to see if we, because it lands at about 80 knots, maybe 70. So let's try the TBM 930, see what happens. And if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. Before we start this, we're going to find another carrier not in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. We got a few other ones around, like one in the Gulf of California. We'll look for some interesting ones. Is there any up in Alaska? But I will be right back before we start trying to land a turboprop jet on a carrier without a tailhook. So this will be interesting. I'll be right back and then we'll get started. Just need a couple minutes. Okay, and I'm back already. Without further ado, let's get going here. We're gonna find another aircraft carrier. What do we want? Is there any interesting carriers around here? I believe we have a list of carriers that comes with the mod, so we could take a look at that. Let's see, we have carrier located. Okay, here it is, world carriers. We got one in the Florida Keys, we got one in the Gulf of California, Gulf of Mexico, Long Island, New York, Lisbon, Persian Gulf, San Francisco, South Carolina, and even in Japan. That's interesting, there's one in Japan. San Francisco, South Carolina. I'm thinking about the times, like what time it is in these places. Lisbon and the Persian Gulf. So there's some, might be some over here. I have to look at where the Persian Gulf is on a map. Probably nowhere near it. Yeah, okay, so that's more Middle East in between, and then Iran. Okay, I can't see anything because everything's so dark. But it looks like it's like over here. Gosh, where are we right now? Can't see a thing. It's so dark. Oh, here it is. Carrier in the Persian Gulf. That's interesting, but it's dark there. I'm just thinking, could be cool to try to land a carrier at night. People land carriers at night? We could try a nighttime one if you guys want, real quick. That could be interesting. That's going to be in the jet. I'm going to do that. Let's see if we can nail one at night before we switch into a different airplane. This is going to be interesting. Real time. Let me stop Rex from trying to find the weather right now. Start Rex up once we're in. Okay, so now we're going to try a nighttime one. I didn't even really think about that. Oh, now my window just got messed up. Oh, I think it's back. There we go. Okay, and I have not started a vote yet for the next live stream, so be on the lookout for that. I just haven't decided what I want to do and when it's going to be next. I'm hoping to do another one. What is so this week is Friday's the 23rd. Could do another one Friday. Could do it'll be like probably I'll have a vote for different things that'll be in snow because it's going to be more of a Christmas themed. Are there any other jets other than the F-18? There are Blue Lobster. There are other jets, but I haven't purchased them. I don't think there's any other jets that are free. We can take a look at that after this. I'm not going to be able to see anything here. This would be crazy to try to land this at night. Are you kidding me? I'm trying to get an idea of the right direction here. I can't see a thing. I mean, out in the open, like, out in open water like this, you wouldn't be able to see anything. You'd be completely IFR right now. There's no, like, lights on the ground for reference or anything. Yeah, I don't think this would work very well. We could try it just for fun, though. I just don't see this going well. It's slow. Start bringing the flaps in and some power. Gear down, tail hook down. I just can't even. I'm so disoriented right now. My only reference of where the ground is the carrier. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. Way too dangerous. Okay, let's scratch that idea. See if there's any other jets to answer your question. Probably pretty entertaining to watch though. Someone trying to navigate a jet in pitch black. Okay, are there any other jets? I don't think so. Yeah, just the Hornet. I mean, I know that there are other jets for sale for military jets, but I don't think for like fighter jets, that's the only one that I have right now. All the other ones cost money. Going to do the TBM now. See if we can land a TBM 930 on a carrier. Let's go with this livery. I used to have a bunch of liveries for this guy. I love flying the TBM. TBM is one of my favorite airplanes to fly. At least it's a tricycle gear. Okay, weight and balance. We'll just put some fuel in here. We don't need it to be full. And we're gonna find which carrier we want to do. We'll probably do like the Keys. Go down to the Florida Keys. There's a carrier down here. In fact, we could even take off from Marathon and we get to that carrier pretty quick. So we'll do a departure on 7 in Marathon and fly out to this one. That's gonna be a pretty short flight. Well, actually, no, we're not in a jet. We're in the TBM, so that would be a 14-minute flight. Oh, that'd be kind of cool though. Yeah, we could do that. That's pretty quick. We'll do real time, and then once we get in, we'll do the real weather. Now, if you guys want to see how to start up the TBM, we're going to start with it already fired up and ready to go. But I have a whole tutorial on my YouTube of how to start up the TBM 930 from cold and dark. I go through all the things that you need to do in order to start up this airplane properly. So if you want to see that, then go watch that other video. Got a good video for that. All right, so we're going to be taking off in the Keys now in Marathon. A Marathon Key. Going out to find this carrier, which our GPS should show us where we are in relation to it. All right, now let's, first things first, get the weather loaded in. Gotta have the right weather. All right, so Rex Weather Force is now syncing the live weather data. About 9 kilometers from our location. What do we got going on in Marathon? Let's see. About to change. Any second now. Come on. There it goes. It's clear. So it didn't really change much. Temperature 78 degrees. Wind 050 at 15 knots, gusting to 22. So a little bit windy. Our socks show some wind. Not really. I guess we should be taking off the other way. Does it do the wind? Why is it not showing that it's very windy? Where's our weather? Do I have to do the wind separately? Oh, that's lame. Well, it does say 7 to 11, but then Rex is showing 15 to 22 from 050. We gotta change that. Well, I actually had the direction right. But it's showing 15. And then 22. And now that's more accurate for our wind. And we are taking off the right direction. Cool. Alright, now we got our wind right. And our sky's right. So let's take off. Love this airplane. And we've got, do we have our carrier location in here? Wow, this just changed a little bit. I must have updated this. Wow, that's cool. Screen's a little different here from the last time that I flew the TBM. Everything looks a little different. Cool. Just got an upgrade. Alright, parking brake off. Turn our air conditioning on. What's going on up here? All this look good. Do. Trim on. We're gonna do, yeah, nav, strobe. Landing light's gonna go on. Alright, we're good to go, but I just need to make sure that we have our course in here. Alright, now we've got it for our FMS, but where is... It should show the carrier. Or maybe it's just on this map. You know what? Might just be on this map. I know it's out here. It's like right out in this area here. Let's see if we can... See if we could just go find it. Are there any notes on which direction to head to the carrier? From a lot of times for the mods they'll say like, oh, if you start here and you go this heading you should find the carrier. It does kind of depend on the wind. Okay, let's see. World carriers. Florida Keys, southern tip of Florida, heading 245. Heading 245 from where though? Alright, let's just go see if we can find it. I have a general idea of where it's at. And if not, we'll just spawn back in right above it. Whoa. Very sensitive here on the rudder. I've noticed, I don't know if you can do this, guys. If you know something that I don't, let me know. But I would love to be able to make different settings for each airplane for my rudder, because I've noticed that every single airplane I fly has like different rudder settings. Oh yeah, it's definitely windy here. And that has been the biggest struggle for me with the simulator is, wow, we're definitely bumping around. Gears going up. Woof. Super windy. Alright, we want to head this way. But yeah, I've noticed that every single airplane I fly has different rudder sensitivity. Like, when I was just taking off there and I was all over the place because my rudder's calibrated really probably for an airline right now, because I was flying the Airbus A320, and then I have to change it when I'm flying like a STOL plane, a small airplane, to try to get the rudder correct for each airplane. So I need to look in to see if there's a way to save it for each plane. That would make my life so much better. When it comes to the simulator, life is pretty great either way. Let's see if we can find this carrier. Not gonna go too high. Alright. And put our headings to straight away. Go ahead and turn on the autopilot to heading. And we'll hold this altitude. Which is nice and low. We're only 1,000 feet up. See if we can find this thing. Let's turn a little bit to the left. Been a while since I've been in the TBM. I really like this airplane. Incredible machine. The capabilities are just really, really nice to be able to take off and land at slow speeds but fly really, really fast. Does this thing keep dropping on me? It's like slowly dropping. This mic? Can't tell. That's what it seems like. I'll have to mess with that. Let's see if we can find this carrier. Not really seeing the aircraft carrier right now, so let's just go back. Because I'm not like 100% certain of where it's at. We'll just go back to the menu and just spawn right above it in the TBM. So we'll pretend like we found it. But yeah, I would say I want to do one more stream before Christmas and do some snow, maybe even have some skis. It's a snowy time of year. Or where did we take off from? Down here. So it was a little bit probably further north. We really weren't far from it. Okay, we'll load in. We'll put those wind conditions back, which will make things very interesting for landing. Wow, look at that view. Wonder where that is. Whoa. What's going on with the airplane? It's all over the place. Let me get Rex to load the weather. Alright, we've got... Okay, something's going on. Is it the autopilot? There we go. That was crazy. Alright, we don't even need the autopilot. I just turned it off. We do have the carrier back below us now. So the goal here is going to be to land this airplane as slow as possible, almost into like a stall landing, and see if we can get this thing to stop and brake it, like brake the airplane as in like apply the brakes without going over the end. But it probably would not be good for the brakes. You damage the brakes by doing this in this airplane, so obviously you would never do this in real life, which is kind of what makes it fun on the simulator. So we're gonna come back around. Should be a capable enough airplane to pull this off. Yeah, this thing is slowly sinking, I can see it. That might fix it. Keep turning around here. Probably go a little bit faster. This airplane slows down pretty quick when you want it to. There's the carrier just off to my left. We're now on a downwind. Got a lot of other people flying in Florida. Oh, there's another TBM over there. Somewhere inland. Let's make sure that we get our winds in here because there's some pretty quick, crazy winds right now that is going to make this challenging because they were 050. At 11. Why did that not work? 50. There we go. Oh, that's what happens when you change the wind. This is also 050. Gusting to about 21. Alright, now we've got accurate wind in there. Pretty windy. In fact, our aircraft carrier may not be facing the right way. So we would have a tailwind, which would not make sense for landing on an aircraft carrier, so we'll probably change the direction so that it's more realistic. Just say the wind's coming from the southwest from like 114. Otherwise, we may not have much of a chance. This airplane is so smooth. Alright, still on a downwind here. Wind's gonna be pushing us further away. And we're gonna have no help with, well, we could use this and see what happens. With a little bit of assistance here. I'm gonna try it without it though, just to make it even more challenging. Alright, we're turning to base. Let's slow down a little bit. We're a little low, but we should be able to get things straightened out here. Come up a little bit and almost down to where we can lower the first notch. It's incredible how slow this airplane can land. First notch of flaps is coming in. Start turning final. Gears coming down. Oh, we way overshot that. Oh no. Gotta slow way down here. Don't think we could. We might be able to correct this actually and still land. I'm probably gonna try to kick the reverse engine on before we even touch down to try to make this possible. I'm gonna come up a little bit higher in the seat here so I can see. And full flaps now. Yep, looks like we could still pull this off. The TBM 930. Can we land it on the carrier? Without using a tailhook. Trying to crab into the wind right now. We're way off center line, but I think I can do this. Alright, and reverse engine and brakes. Oof! I can't believe we made that. That was so uncoordinated and terrible. Look at that. Look at the reverse. Yeah, without that reverse, there's just no way. But we made it. We didn't go over. Just landed the TBM on an aircraft carrier. Let's see if we can take off now. We're gonna go full flaps. Let's see if this is possible. Full flaps. Which we were already at. Probably, actually, you know what? I'll probably do one notch of flaps. That was interesting. Very uncoordinated, but successful. As soon as I see if we can make the takeoff in this, we'll switch into another airplane. If if you have anything in particular you guys want to see, let me know as far as what aircraft to try. We're gonna want as much space as possible to attempt this. Come all the way back as far as possible to give us as much ground roll, as build as much speed as we can on takeoff. Can a TBM 930 take off on an aircraft carrier? I want to say we're going to be able to, actually, in this airplane. It's pretty capable. I'm going to stop right here. And we're going to go apply the brakes and then full power. Flaps, we got to 1 notch. Here we go, guys. Once we get up to full power, I'm gonna release the brakes. And here we go. Oh. Gear up. That is so sketchy, but we actually did it. Flaps up. Perfect. Wow. We just took off from an aircraft carrier in the TBM successfully. Okay, so that was pretty cool. Landed it successfully, took it off successfully. Now let's try another airplane. We're gonna do a couple more before I end today's stream. This one has really just kind of been like, you know, we talked about a little bit of realism at the beginning and with the jet, but kind of just fun and games here today. All right. Let's go over to another carrier now. Oh, Fort Jefferson. One out in the Gulf does have some interesting weather. Is there any other interesting weather somewhere? Where else do we have carriers? I know San Francisco, we got one. Could do that. Where's this carrier? Is this parked in here? Alcatraz, I got all of our landmarks in here. Where's the San Fran carrier? Here it is. Let's do that one. This could be interesting. Real time. And let's change our aircraft to what do we want to see here for landing on a carrier? Is it possible to land I know the 208 could do it. I know the Beaver could do it. I know a lot of these small airplanes could do it. All of these could do it. A lot of these airplanes could do it. Could try the Goose. That could be interesting. Try to land a Goose on a carrier? Wouldn't really make sense though, it's a seaplane. We could try... What else do we got? Pitts, I know we could land a Pitts on it. What's going to be challenging though? Private jet? I mean, I know all of these would be fine. Like most of these would be fine. King Air, I mean, that's pretty questionable. You could try the King Air. That may or may not be successful. Let's try the King Air. I haven't really flown the King Air very much, so I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm not really that familiar with it. First installment of Microsoft Flight Simulator was installed, was created and released in 1982. Come a long way. If you need to take a breath during a thrilling flight, use active pause. Well, it started us pretty high up.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
No, we don't want autopilot on. It seems like it's on right now.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. More landing gear. Okay. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Stall.
Alright, how do we get the autopilot off? This is not going well. Just like pitched up.
Stall.
There we go. We okay now?
Stall.
Do we have control? We have control of the airplane. Alright, we should have control of the airplane now. Oh, there's the carrier. Alright, looks like we want to turn around and land the other way, so I'm going to actually fly right through the Golden Gate Bridge, and then we'll be kind of on a base at that point for the carrier. Or right over the bridge. And I want to also queue up our weather here. So we're going to start the weather synthesis for San Fran. See how that changes things. That'll load in any second now. You'll see the weather change. And there you have it. Much different weather. Now we're IFR. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna slow down here. Cannot see a thing. Do have some artificial terrain though. This is very helpful. Pretty much just use that. I think as we get a little bit lower, I'll be able to see the ground better. Boy, did that change things. What is our wind doing? Wind is 110 at 6 in San Fran right now. Oh no, why did that change things? Oh, does that mess with Rex? Oh, we don't want to mess with Rex. I guess we gotta just let it... I guess we gotta just let it do whatever it wants. Okay, we'll let that inject again and then just leave it alone. I won't mess with the wind. Trying to get the wind accurate, but hopefully Rex will do that. And right now, guys, I'm just flying with the artificial terrain, and I've got my overhead view right here. We're coming up on the bridge. I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Also start trimming this airplane down. My trim is all messed up. That should be better. Got the Golden Gate Bridge to our left. You can barely see it. This is going to be challenging. Trying to land a King Air twin prop on an aircraft carrier in IFR conditions. It's going right over the bridge right now. I'm gonna put some flaps down. That'll help us fly slower.
Landing gear.
Gear is already down. Can't even see where the carrier is right now. Alright, I see it. I see it a little bit. No idea what's gonna happen here. It's definitely a little windy. Kind of bobbing around. Let's see how slow we can get before we stall, so I know how slow I can try to land. Why is it not slowing down? There it goes. Well, I can see a lot better now.
500.
Looks like we can try to land around 90. Touchdown around 90. A little bit faster than the TBM 930. Emergency landing. Gotta land on the aircraft carrier. Alright, and let's go ahead and start the replay. In case we want to watch this. I don't know, if this carrier is moving, we won't be able to, but if it's not moving, we will be able to watch the replay. Going pretty slow right now. This is good. We're just above stall speed. Full flaps. Slow back down a little bit. Don't want to get too low. Sinking, we're sinking, we're sinking. Adding some power. Cutting power again. Sinking, sinking, adding power. Cutting power. Reverse engine. Brakes. Somehow we pulled that off. Do we even have reversers in here? I don't even know if we have a reverser actually. Oh yeah, we do. I would imagine that would take a little bit of time to kick on. I don't know, how quick can the reverser kick in? Oh yeah, it comes in. That definitely takes a little bit of time. So, I don't know how we pulled that off. I don't even know if you could, like... I guess you could pull that off in real life. Yeah, I mean, we landed pretty slow. Threw on the brakes. Might have damaged the brakes because I really hit them when we landed. Let's check out the replay. It was definitely a little bit hard, uncoordinated. But even though, I mean, these aren't the best landings, we're still surviving.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Here's what that looked like.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Yeah, don't sink.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Is this carrier
Don't
moving?
sink.
Oh, is it
Don't
moving?
sink. Don't
Oh
sink.
no, we're not gonna be able to
Don't
watch
sink.
the replay then.
Don't sink.
That's lame.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh well.
Don't sink. 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 Don't sink.
That's too bad. So it's showing the replay where the carrier used to be. It's unfortunate that it doesn't work for that. Alright, where are we at now? Are we back on the carrier now?
Don't sink.
No?
Don't sink.
Now it's just gonna screw everything up.
Don't sink.
Alright. See if we can pull off a takeoff in this airplane. We have one notch of flaps here and go full power and see if we can pull this off, just like the TBM. Alright, here we go. Dang, this thing's got some kick. Oh yeah, I think we'll be able to do this.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Very nice. And then just disappear into IFR.
Landing gear.
So that was interesting. We were able to land the TBM and the King Air. So that was fun. Haven't had many people participating in the chat today, so normally I like to, in this kind of stream, I'd ask you guys what you want to see, but there's not really anyone talking, so probably we'll cut this one short since we don't have many people here. But it was fun, and I appreciate the ones who did come out. There'll be a lot more live streams in the future, and hopefully one later this week. I'm gonna be probably planning on Friday. We're gonna do a Christmas stream, so stay tuned for the vote on my community page for YouTube. I will make that vote right now so you guys can start voting on the next stream, and it'll be a fun holiday live stream, probably somewhere snowy. Could even do like Yellowstone National Park. Let me look in to see if there's any like fun Christmas mods going on in Microsoft Flight Simulator for the stream later this week. And again, really appreciate you guys for coming out. For those who did come hang out and vote on this. That was fun though. I mean, that was fun. Really had a good time and had some bad landings at first and some hard landings, but it was interesting seeing that you can actually land some of these other airplanes on a carrier even without the tailhook, because you're coming in a lot slower, like 90, 80, 70 knots. Whereas The jets obviously are coming in at like 150, so you got to have that tail hook to catch on the wire. Otherwise, you're going to have no chance. But yeah, hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy it and appreciate you guys. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Have a good one. Be safe. Happy flying. Where is the Streamlabs menu here? Here we go. Okay. Now I can end it. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Came to me, you pulled me from the deep, my lightning in the dark, set fire to my heart, never let me go. I'm alive, I see with brand new eyes. No, I've never been so sure. Take my hand, let's run into the unknown. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. Where to go? Heaven only knows. Your trust is in my arms, so hold me till the dawn. Never let me go. On and on. Been dreaming for so long. Said we'll make 'em all come true. Now our story's just about to be told. This is the beginning.